Now we are going to discuss the last two questions of the mock paper, which gives 20 marks each. This one related to project appraisal session. Question number 6. Okay, first I will summarize how we are going to relate this answer. What are the most important thing? What are the information which is more essential to work out this illustration? Then I will show you the suggested answer, then you can get an idea. Okay, first we will read the illustration properly and identify what are the relevant cost, what are the irrelevant cost, and the time frame of the each of the cash flow occurs. First read the requirement. Their requirement is recommend the board of directors of War Mills whether they should commence the new project. Then that means you have to calculate NPV and see whether this project should be accepted or not. Shall we read the illustration? Question number 6. War Mills Private Limited is a manufacturer of coconut milk extracted by processing dehusked coconuts. The company has been in the business for 18 years with the humble beginning as a coconut oil mill. Currently, it has grown to a scale of 300 plus staff and with export revenue contributing to 40% of the total revenue. Okay, out of that 40% of the total revenue received from export business. Okay. The growing demand for the coconut canned milk from overseas has resulted the factory running at full capacity, thus some of the orders cannot be catered. Accordingly, the company is planning to start another factory. The new factory will be established in a land already purchased by the company 3 years ago for value of 50 million. Remember, that is irrelevant. That 50 million is irrelevant. Why? It has been already been purchased. දැන්ටමත් purchase කරලා තියෙන්නේ. Therefore, whether you decide or not, the cost already incurred. It's a sunk cost. Therefore, 50 million is not a relevant cost. Fixed capital investment for the construction of the factory is estimated to be rupees 2,500 million. Okay. 40% of this amount will be spent at the beginning of the project and balance will be spent towards the end of the year 1. That means at the immediately you have to spend 40%, balance 60% you will spend at the end of year 1 as an outflow. The operation phase will be started from year 2 onwards, that means end of first year, beginning of second year you will commence the operation. It is estimated that the working capital investment need to be pumped at the beginning of the second year amounting to 100 million. Second year you have to give 100 million as working capital. Additional investment in working capital for each year is estimated as 5% of the increase in sales value. Okay. Sales year 1 to year, okay, next year's sales minus current year sales, then incremental sales into 5% is the additional working capital. Remember, these working capital will be recovered at the end of the project. Okay. This will be injected to the business at the beginning of each year starting from year 3 beginning. All the investment in working capital will be fully recovered at the termination of the project. Okay. Year 3 beginning kiyanne end of second year. The proposed factory will be used to process coconut milk only. Bulk coconut will be sold for the local market and canned coconut 400 milliliter will be sold for the export buyers. The sales manager forecasts the following sales quantity for next 5 years, because second year onwards we are start the operation. Then for 5 years means second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. Information given: bulk milk liter is expected to sell 200 per liter in second year. A can of 400 milliliter coconut milk will be sold for $0.50 in the export market initially. Sales prices are expected to increase the rate of 5% from third year onwards. Okay. Variable cost per liter of bulk milk is 60% of from the selling price, whereas a canned milk comprises 70% variable cost per unit. Okay. A new staff of 300 employees are expected to recruit for the new factory. Average salary per employee per month is computed as 60,000. This is expected to rise at 7% from third year onwards. A part of the operation is expected to subcontract, and accordingly 150 million annual subcontract fee will be incurred in year 2. Other fixed costs excluding depreciation are estimated to be rupees 450 million per annum. This includes the allocated head office expenses for 50 million. Okay, allocated head office expenses still 50 million. That means that 50 million should be eliminated because it is not relevant. It has not arise as a result of this new project. Both subcontract cost and fixed cost will rise by 5% inflation from third year onwards. Okay. As per government regulation, tax regulations, company has to pay 18% tax on profit. Capital allowances are calculated as 20% of the cost. Assume that no tax liability arises with the disposal of assets at the end of the project. Taxes are paid in 1 year arrears. Any tax losses arising from a new project can be absorbed from the existing business. The cost of capital, nominal cost of capital estimated to be 15%. Terminal value of the new project is estimated to be 500 million considering disposal value of asset at the year end at year 6 prices. The estimated exchange rate between USD and LKR is given below. Okay. Now we need to calculate what? The revenue and all we need to calculate. Recommend the board of directors of Womil whether should be commence the new project. Okay, we will start the computation. We will look at what are the relevant cost and what are the irrelevant cost. First one, cost of land. Cost of land 50 million sunk cost. Therefore, it is irrelevant. Cost of land of 50 million, it is irrelevant. Remember, initial capital investment 2,500. Initial investment 2,500 million. Out of that 40% immediately, that means 1,000 million at the beginning, 1,000 million at the beginning, that means year 0, 60% 1,500 million, that is end of year 1, that is year 1, end of year 1, beginning of year 2. Okay. The operation will be start on end of year 1, that means beginning of year 2 operation will be started. Okay. Working capital investment 100 million at the beginning, additional investment will be decided based on the sales value. Now we will calculate sales and contribution. Okay. First, I will calculate the contributions and sales. Okay. These information are there. Now, I will calculate, because you are commencing your operation on second year onwards. Year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5 and year 6. Year 6. You will commence the operation from second year onwards. There are two types of product: bulk coconut milk in bulk and coconut milk in canned. I will take bulk milk. Quantity in millions. Quantity in millions given millions of liters, 10 million. Year 3, 12 million. 12 million. Year 4, 15 million. Year 5, 17 million. Year 6, 19 million liters quantity. Price. Price says, what about price? Bulk milk liter is expected to sell at 200 per liter in year 2. 200. Price per liter. 200. A can of 400 milliliter coconut milk will be sold for $50. Sales prices are expected to increase at the rate of 5% from third year onwards. This is second year, third year, it will rise by 5%. 200 into 5%, it will be 210. 210 into 5%, it will be 220.5. 220.5 into another 5%, it will go up 231.53. Year 6, 231 point into 5%, 243.1. 243.1. Now you have the quantity, you have the price. Now you can easily calculate revenue. Revenue in bulk milk, revenue in rupees million. Here it is 2000 million, 2000. Here it is 2520, 2520 million. Here 3308, 3308 million. 220.5 the selling price into 15 million quantity, 3308 million. Here it is 3936 million. Year 6, 4619 million. This is the revenue from bulk milk. Then I will look at canned milk. Canned milk. Canned milk. Canned milk. Sales quantity is given 400 milliliter each. Quantity in millions. Quantity in millions. Okay. 15 million in year 2. 15 million. Year 3. 17 million, 20 million in year 4, 22 in year 5, 24 million in year 6, 24 million. Quantity. Price per can. in dollars. Can you remember? It has given price per can will be sold for $0.50 for export market. That means 0.5. $0.5. $0.50. Remember, prices will increase by 5% each year. Okay. Then approximately 0.5 into 5% means 0.525. I will take 0.53. 0.53 into 5%, this will be 0.55. Year 5, 0.55 into 5%, 0.58. Year 6, 0.58 into 0.5, $0.61. Now these are given in dollar terms. Now if you want to convert these dollars into rupee, you have to multiply by using exchange rate. Exchange rate also being given. Okay, we'll take, if you want, you can take the value or you can directly multiply it. Exchange rate. Exchange rate. Year 2 it is 190, 200, 205, 210 and 215. This is the total sales quantity in millions. This is the dollar value per unit. This is the exchange rate. If you multiply it together, you can get the total revenue in total. Revenue in total. Here 1425. 1785. 2280. 2280. Sorry, 60. 60. 2674. 3136. 3136. Okay, revenue. Now you can take the total revenue for bulk and can tea. We can calculate total revenue. Total revenue. Bulk milk and canned milk all together 3425. 3425. Okay. Then here it is 4305. 4305. Here 5568. 6610. 7755. This is the total revenue. Now how to calculate the contribution? Contribution 60% from bulk milk, 70% from, it has given, if you look at variable cost, 60% for bulk milk, that means contribution is 40%. Canned milk contribution is 30%, why the variable cost is 70%. Okay. You can separately calculate it or you can directly calculate the contribution, it's okay. Okay, I will take the contribution then. Contribution. bulk, milk and canned. Bulk milk it is 40%, canned 30%. Then you can take the contribution here, take the contribution. How to get the contribution? 2000 into 40%, 800. 2520 into 40%, 1008. 3308 into 40%, 1323, 1323. 3936 into 0.4, 1574. 4619 into 40%, 1848. 1848. Then canned product, 1425 into 30%, 428. 428. Then it become 1228 is the total contribution. Then 1785.3, 534. Sorry, 536. 536. Then it becomes 1544 is the total contribution. Okay. 2260 into 30%, 678. Then it becomes 2001. 2674 into 30%, 802. 2376. 3136 into 30%. 3136 into 30%, 941. It become 2789. This is the contribution, okay, total contribution. That's how it will work. Total contribution, now that working is done. Therefore, bulk milk, canned milk, both together, total revenue we have calculated. Based on their different contribution or CS ratio, we have calculated the contribution as well. The next one, we will look at about fixed cost. Then I will do the working, then you can put according to the requirement. Okay, 300 new staff will be taken or recruited, fixed cost. Then you have to pay, that is an additional cost, that is an incremental fixed cost. You have to pay the salary for this new recruited staff for this particular project. It is an incremental fixed cost, incremental cost. Even though it is fixed, you have to consider for this particular project. Next working we will do Fixed cost, staff cost, 300 new staff will be recruited. Each we have to pay 60,000 per month. That means per month your salary cost will be 300 into 60,000 mean 18 million you have to pay a month. 18 million a month mean per annum how much? Fixed cost. Staff salary for new staff, okay? Staff salary 18 million a month for 12 months period you have to pay 216 million rupees million. 216 million. Okay. This is expected to rise by 7% from the third year onwards. From third year onwards, this 216 will rise by 7%. $231 into 7% again 247. 247 and 265 next another 7% and 283. Remember we have consider the inflation as well, incremental, the cost will goes up. Then subcontract, the part of the operation is expected to subcontract and accordingly 150 million annual subcontract fee will be incurred in year 2. Subcontract fee. Subcontract fee 150 million in year 2. Other fixed cost excluding depreciation for 50, remember 50 million allocated fixed cost is not relevant. Therefore, incremental fixed cost, other fixed cost, not 450, it should be 400. Why? Allocated 50 million is not an incremental cost. It should not consider. Both costs will increase by 5% in each year. Therefore, here 158, another 5% increase, 165, 174 and 182. 400 will increase by 5%, 420, 441, 5% increase, 463 and 486. In Excel if you are working out 400, 1 plus 400 into 1 plus 0.5, 1.05 only multiply. If you drag up to 6th year you will get the figure. Okay, 400 this cell into 1.05. Then next one, if you go to the next one, then this cell will multiply it by 1 point, likewise you can easily calculate it. Okay, that is for the fixed cost. Therefore, your total fixed cost, take the total. This is the working for total fixed cost. Total fixed cost 766, 809, 854, 901 and 952. Then can you remember we have worked out the contribution. If you deduct this cash flow from the contribution, then you can take the operating cash flow or operating profit. Okay, after removing this one operating cash flow you can easily calculate. Working capital investment or working capital estimation. First year you have to, I will work out here itself, I will include year 1. Working capital investment. First year you have to do 100 million. Second year you will make an investment based on incremental sales value. 5% on incremental sales value it says. Okay, we look at the answer. Look at your sales value. Your total revenue 3,425 went up to 4,305. What is the increment? 4,305 is the sales value of third year minus 3,425, 880 into 5%, then it should be 44. You can see increase in sales 880, 44 is the increase, 5% increase in working capital. It says about working capital investment at the beginning, it says, okay, 100 million beginning of the year 2, it says beginning of year 2 working capital investment, that is here. Beginning of year 2 mean end of year 1. Yes, that is correct. 100 million. 100 million you will invest working capital. You are going to invest 100 million in working capital at beginning of year 2. It says about beginning of year 2. Second year you are not going to invest any amount because there is no working capital in second. Second year also you can additional investment in working capital for each year is estimated 5% of increase in sales value. This will be injected business at the beginning of year starting from year 3. Beginning of year 3 mean beginning of end of year 2. That means 44 million additional working capital you will insert in year 2. Okay. Beginning of year 2 mean end of year 1. That is 100 million. Beginning of year 3 mean end of year 2, 44 million. Now we look at increase in sales. Sales 5,568 went up from 4,305. 5,568 minus 4,305. Sales went up by how much? 1,263 into 0.05, it says 63 million. It will be invest in year 3, that means end of year 3, beginning of year 4. Okay. Therefore, 63 million invested in year 3. Then 52 million will be invested in year 4 and 57 million will be invested in year 5. 57 million. Total will be recovered in year 6. Total amount you can see, total amount will be recovered in year 6. The amount is 316. Total I will take, total will be recovered in year 6, 316. This is the amount you will be recovered. Okay. Now, you have to calculate the tax saving. As I mentioned earlier, how to calculate tax saving. We have already calculated the contribution, then deduct fixed cost. Okay. Then you can get the operating cash flow. You have made an investment of 2,500 million at the end of first year. 20% capital allowance mean 500 million claim you can claim over the project period. Okay. Again, 2,500 million we have completely spent at the end of first year. Then second year onward we can claim. Taxable profit or loss. Year 2 there is a taxable loss. Therefore, tax saving will be there. Year 3 there is a taxable profit. This is the amount of taxation according to the 18% tax payment. Okay, this is the net present value computation. Remember, when you are going to calculate NPV, you have to use nominal cost of capital rate because we have adjusted the inflation. We have incorporated the inflation for all the cash flows at a different rate. All the cash flows are nominal cash flows. Therefore, we have to discount nominal cash flows by using nominal discount rate. Okay, you have made an investment of 1000 at the beginning initial date, that means year 0, and 1500 in year 1. Total 2500 you have made. The dismantle value is 500 million. It is a receipt at the end of the project. Working capital we have discussed. Operating cash flows we have calculated. This is the tax saving and tax payment we have adjusted. These are the net cash flows after tax. After discounting this cash receipt and payment, you will receive a net present value of 600 million. That means 600 million mean your net receipts are greater than net payment, or receipts are greater than your payment by 600 million. Your net present value of future receipts are greater than by 600 million from the present value of payments. Therefore, it is recommended that this project should be financially feasible to accept. Therefore, part A for the question, you should recommend this project is financially favorable to accept. First part asks to recommend to the board. Yes, we will recommend to the board this project is financially favorable since it generates positive net present value of 600 million. Okay, that is the suggestion for part A. Part B says, considering the COVID-19 pandemic, managing director suggests to incorporate risk to evaluate using certainty equivalent approach. He proposed to use the following conversion factors given below. That means you will incorporate risk into your cash flows. Then you will convert them risk free cash flow, then you have to discount them by using risk free discount rate. We will see how it has been done. These are the net cash flow after tax you can take. These are the net cash flows after tax. Year 1, anyway it has to incur 100%, there is no risk, it is 100% we have to increase. These are the conversion factors we have considered. These are the certainty risk adjusted cash flows being given. Then we will discount at risk free discount rate 7%. Even after incorporation of risk, we will end up with a positive NPV of 240. Now, when we are applying this risk adjusted discount rate, or when we are using certainty equivalent, what we are going to do? Each cash flow we will assign some probabilities or conversion factor and convert cash flows into risk adjusted cash flows and will be discounted by using risk free discount rate. Therefore, again you can say under the current risk condition also it is suitable to accept or suitable to conduct this project. Okay, that is the end of question number 6. Project appraisal. This is very similar to the question which you have already discussed in mock exam as well. Better to practice more and more. Okay, we will move to the final question, that is related to variance computation. We will quickly work it out. KEG DC Limited, question number 7. KEG DC Private Limited exports virgin coconut oil, okay, VCO, is manufactured by processing dried desiccated coconut. The company purchased dried desiccated coconut from various suppliers. The standard cost card of 1 liter of virgin coconut oil is given below. Okay, you have received the standard cost card. Okay, exchange rate also being given. The standard selling price also given, standard profit markup also there, standard cost details given. Company has produced and sold 10,500 liters and earned 11.525 million during the month of December. That is the actual result. 10,500 liters you have sold the revenue 11,525,000. Actual direct material purchase and use 17,850 kilograms of dried desiccated coconut and 10,600 containers at the cost of 7,675,000 and 477,000 respectively. Company has paid 648,000 for 2,700 labor hours. However, production records show that actual labor hours used for the production was 2,600 labor hours. Okay. Variable overhead amounting to 144,000 during the month. Further, company has paid rupees 740,000 for fixed overhead. Budgeted production and sale quantity during the month of December is 11,000 liters. Fixed overhead absorption rate is calculated based on machine hours and one unit needs 3 machine hours. Actual machine hours operated during the month of December is 32,000 hours. Ignore exchange gain or losses on revenue. We will see what they asked to calculate. Compute the following variances if the company uses absorption costing system. I think this kind of similar illustration was there 2015 June paper. Okay, material price and usage variance, labor rate and efficiency variance, variable overhead, fixed overhead and selling price variances. There are variances we need to calculate. Thereafter we will reconcile the profit. Okay, now we are going to quickly calculate the variances and then we will reconcile the profit. This is the last illustration we are going to discuss. First they asked to calculate direct material price variance. Okay, direct material price variance. There are two product, dried desiccated coconut, okay, dried DC and container. Okay, first I will start from selling price, direct material price. In direct material price variance, how we compute what is the expected or standard price and actual price, that is difference. That difference we call price variance. Therefore, I will use the short form standard price minus actual price into quantity purchased. Okay. If there is a closing stock, then you have to decide whether closing stock valued at standard price or actual price. If they valued at actual price, you can't use quantity purchase, you have to use quantity used. But here there is no information like that. Okay, direct material price variance, standard price minus actual price into quantity purchased. Okay, we will take dried DC. Dried DC standard price is 420 per kilogram. 420 rupees per kilogram. Actual cost is how much? Actual cost. Actual price is given. Dried DC 7,675,000 for 17,850. Selling price, actual price into quantity purchase mean actual cost. It's available. Standard price into quantity purchase. Quantity purchase is given how many units? 17,850. Minus actual price into quantity purchase mean actual cost. Actual cost 7,675,000. Okay. $178,000 it is an adverse variance. 178,000 it is an adverse. it is an adverse. Then container, containers. Standard price 1 unit at 50. Unit at 50. We have purchased 10,600. Standard price into quantity purchased 10,600. Actual price into quantity purchase mean actual cost. Actual cost 477,000. Okay. 10,600 into 50 minus 477,000. 53,000. It is favorable. 125,000 it's an adverse. 125,000 it is an adverse. Second one, direct material usage variance. Direct material usage variance. How to calculate direct material usage variance? Standard usage of actual production minus actual usage into standard price. We have manufactured 10,500. If we manufactured 10,500, how many kilograms of dried DC should be used and how many kilograms actually used? You can compare. The difference should be multiplied into standard price. Okay, I will take dried DC. Dried DC. Standard usage. Each unit go to standard cost card 1.6 kilogram to be used. Then actual production 10,500 liters. 10,500 liters. Then how much? 1.6 into 10,500. You should use 16,800 kilograms. Actual usage 17,850. 17,850. That means you have used more than required. 16,800 to be used, but actual utilization 17,850. What is the standard price? 420 per kilogram. 420 per kilogram. $441,000 adverse. 441,000 adverse. Then container. Each container, each unit should use one container. Therefore, 1 into 10,500. 10,500 containers to be used. Actual utilization 10,600. There might be some wastages while the production carried out. Standard price is 50. 100 units greater than standard. 100 into 50, 5,000 adverse. 446,000 it is an adverse variance. 446,000 it is an adverse variance. Okay. Next one it will ask to calculate what? Part B. Sorry, number 2. Labor rate and efficiency. Third one, labor rate variance. How to calculate labor rate variance? Labor rate variance you can calculate what is the expected standard rate you are going to pay, but what is the actual rate you have paid. Okay. You have to compare standard rate minus actual rate. Whether you worked or not, you have to pay. That is called hours paid. HP mean hours paid. Okay, direct wages, standard rate is 250. Standard rate 250. What is the actual rate? Actual rate, company has paid 648,000 for 2,700 hours. Actual rate into hours paid is the actual cost will be there. Okay, you can multiply 250 into 2,700 minus actual rate into number of hours paid. The actual cost is 648,000. 648,000. Then you will receive the answer 27,000. 27,000. It is favorable. Rate variance 27,000 favorable. Labor rate variance 27,000 favorable. Okay. Then we will look at labor efficiency variance. Labor efficiency. Standard hours of actual production minus actual hours worked into standard rate. When you are calculating efficiency, you will not consider hours paid, you will consider only hours worked. Okay. Therefore, when we are going to calculate labor efficiency, what is the standard hours? 0.25 hours per each unit. You have manufactured 10,500, each 0.25. How many hours should have been used? 2,625. 2,625 hours should have been used. But actual hours worked only 2,600, not 2,700. It is the number of hours paid. Standard rate 250. What is the value? 25 hours favorable into 250, 6,250 it is favorable. $6,250 it is favorable. Labor efficiency time. Have you noticed we have paid for 2,700 hours, but we have worked only 2,600. That difference we call idle time variance. Okay. Fifth, remember idle time variance always negative, adverse. Idle time variance. How to calculate idle time variance? Our actual hours worked minus hours paid into standard rate. We have actually worked 2,600 hours, but we have paid for 2,700. That means 100 hours we have not worked, that means being idle, rate is 250. 25,000 it is an adverse variance. 25,000 it is an adverse. That is idle time variance. Okay. That is related to labor efficiency, rate and idle time variance. Then variable overhead expenditure and efficiency. Remember variable overhead also vary with direct labor hours, therefore labor efficiency will same as variable overhead efficiency, only difference is the standard rate. Okay, we will work out variable overhead expenditure and efficiency. When direct labor efficiency variance favorable, variable overhead efficiency variance also being favorable, we will assume that variable overhead also vary in accordance with direct labor hours. 6. Variable overhead expenditure. Standard rate minus actual rate. Remember, this is different from direct labor rate variance. Why? Here we will take actual hours worked, not paid. If you work, only variable overhead will arise. Okay. Standard rate is given 50 rupees per hour. 50 rupees per hour. Actual hours worked, actual rate into actual hours worked mean actual cost. It will be there. It is given. Actual variable overhead given. Actual hours worked only 2600. Actual rate into actual hours mean actual cost 144,000. 144,000. Then 14,000, it is an adverse variance. 14,000 variable overhead expenditure is an adverse variance. Then variable overhead efficiency variance. Efficiency. Variable overhead efficiency variance. This is similar to labor efficiency variance, only the rate will change, same as labor efficiency variance. Therefore, you have to compare standard hours minus actual hours worked into standard rate. Standard hours same because 0.25 hours per unit same as labor. Standard hours 2625, actual hours work 2600, standard rate is 50. Then this should be 1250 favorable. 1250 favorable. That is variable overhead expenditure and efficiency variance. Then 8. Fixed production overhead expense variance. Fixed production overhead expense variance. How we will compare budget versus actual? Budgeted expenditure versus actual expenditure. It has not given the budgeted cost, but standard cost per unit is given 75. How many? Then you can easily calculate budgeted cost per unit. If it is 75 is the standard, that means budgeted. When you are going to calculate standard cost per unit, standard fixed overhead per unit, you will divide budgeted cost by budgeted output. Budgeted output, here it mentioned 11,000 liters. Then you can get the budgeted cost. Actual is given it here 740,000. Calculate the value. 75 into 11,000, 825,000, that means 85,000 favorable. 85,000 favorable. It will be 85,000 favorable. Now we will look at fixed production overhead volume variance. Here it says fixed production overhead, budgeted fixed production and sale quantity for the month of October, December is 11,000 liters. Fixed production overhead absorption rate is calculated based on machine hours, and one unit needs 3 machine hours. That means per unit 75 kila kiyanne standard rate should be, then 75 for 3 hours per unit, 75 should be divided by 3, then it will be 25 is the standard rate. Okay, now we will look at 9th. Fixed production overhead volume variance. Standard machine hours for actual production minus budgeted machine hours into standard rate. We have manufactured how many units? 10,500. 500. Each require how many machine hours? 3 machine hours. 3. That means 31,500 machine hours is the standard. What is the budgeted machine hours? 11,000 is the budgeted production. 11,000 each 3. Then 33,000 is the budgeted hours. What is the standard rate? 75 rupees per unit. Unit taker 75ක් යනවා නම් cost එක. Each unit require 3 hours. That means 25 rupees per hour. We will calculate 25 into 1,500. 37,500 it is an adverse. 37,500 it is an adverse variance. 37,500 fixed production overhead. Volume variance is an adverse variance. Okay. 37,500 it is an adverse. Then we will move to next computation, selling price and sales volume variance. Okay, I will wipe this side. Sales price variance, you will compare what is the expected selling price and what is the actual selling price. You will identify favorable and adverse variance based on actual selling price and budgeted selling price. Okay. 10th, sales price variance. Sales price variance. You will compare actual price against budgeted price into quantity sold. Quantity sold. Actual price into quantity sold means actual sales revenue. It has given 11,525,000 minus budgeted price into quantity sold. You have sold 10,500 units. Quantity sold, budgeted selling price was 1,050. 1,050 into 10,500. Sorry, 1,050. Budgeted price 1,050. Quantity 10,500. Sorry, quantity sold 10,500. 10,500. If you take the total or if you take the difference, what is the value? 1,050 is the budgeted selling price. Quantity sold 10,500. Then 11,525,000 minus answer 500,000, it is favorable. Sales price variance 500,000 favorable. Okay, 500,000 favorable. We will look at sales volume variance. Sales volume variance. Sales volume variance, what you can do in sales volume variance, you will compare actual quantity sold minus budgeted sales quantity into standard profit margin, standard margin. Actual quantity you have sold 10,500. You expected to sell 11,000. 11,000. What is the standard margin? You can go to the cost card, standard cost card. The standard profit is there 178. Then 500 unit lower than budgeted, impact is 89,000 adverse. This is very easy. Now you have computed all the cost variances relating to this one, this illustration. Now second step, you have to reconcile budgeted profit with the actual profit based on absorption costing method. Okay, we'll quickly prepare the profit reconciliation statement based on absorption approach. Then positive variances and negative variances should be presented as much as detail we have to present. There's a slight difference between marginal costing approach. Marginal costing approach, the variance computation also will be differ. Okay, I will explain like that. Okay, first we will look at, this is profit reconciliation statement, profit variance reconciliation statement. Profit variance reconciliation statement. We will use a quick format and quickly we will do it. Budgeted profit. Budgeted profit. Budgeted profit. How can you calculate budgeted profit? You expect to sell 11,000 units. Budgeted profit per unit 178. Agreed? Then 11,000 into 178, 1,958,000. 1,958,000 is your budgeted profit. You have budgeted profit of 1,958,000. Now what can we do? Now my actual profit will be, if there is a favorable variance, that means my actual result is favorable, greater than budgeted result. That means my actual profit is higher than my budgeted profit. Therefore, if there is a favorable variance, I should add favorable variances. If it is an adverse variance, you have to deduct them. Why? My actual profit is lower. Therefore, adverse variances should be deducted. You have to deduct adverse variance, you have to add favorable variance. One by one we will look at. First I will take material. Material variances are going to price and usage. Price and usage. If there is a mix and yield, you can eliminate usage, you can use price, mix and yield, because mix and yield represent the usage. Material price variance 125,000 adverse. 125,000 adverse. Usage variance as I can remember, 446,000 adverse. 446,000 it is an adverse variance. This is direct material price and usage, direct material. Number 2, I will say direct labor. Direct labor rate, efficiency and idle time. Idle, 3 variants. Rate variance 27,000 favorable. Rate variance. Efficiency variance 6,250 favorable. Idle time always negative or adverse 25,000, it is an adverse variance 25,000. Okay, 25,000 and adverse, that is direct labor. Then I will take variable overhead. Expenditure and efficiency. Expenditure, what will happen? Expenditure 14,000 adverse. Expenditure 14,000 adverse. Efficiency 1,250 favorable. Then fourth, fixed production overhead. Fixed production overhead. Fixed production overhead, expense and volume. Fixed production overhead expenditure variance 85,000 favorable. Volume variance 37,500 adverse. Adverse. Then finally I will take sales. Sales. Sales mainly goes to price and volume. Sales price margin variance, sales volume margin variance. Sales price variance 500,000 favorable. 500,000 favorable. Volume variance 89,000 adverse. Adverse. Now we will take total favorable and total adverse variances. Total favorable and total adverse variance. Total favorable variance will be there 27,000 plus 6,250 plus 1,250 plus 585,000. 619,500 favorable variances. Adverse variances we will look at 125,000 plus 446 plus 39 plus 37.5 plus 89. 736,500. That means adverse variances are more than favorable variances. Net variance how much? Minus 619.5. 117,000, there is a net variance. That means 117,000 adverse variance are more than favorable variance. That means your actual profit 117,000 lower than budgeted profit. Therefore, you will take your actual profit. Actual profit. Actual profit should be 1,841,000. 1,841,000 is your actual profit. Okay, that is the answer for part B of the question. This is the variance reconciliation what we have prepared. Now, part C, last one. If the company follows marginal costing system, compute any variances necessary and prepare an operating statement to reconcile budgeted profit with the actual profit. There are two changes will be consider. Two changes will be there. Number one change, if we use marginal costing, fixed production overhead we will consider as a periodic cost, we will directly charge to the P&L. Inventories will be valued at marginal cost, variable production cost only. Therefore, if we apply marginal costing approach, only fixed production overhead expense variance will be there, there won't be any volume variance. That is number one. Number two, when we are going to calculate sales volume margin variance, we have considered standard profit. But when we are going to calculate sales volume contribution margin, we will take standard contribution instead of standard profit. There are two changes. Therefore, these variances will remain same. Only two changes will be there. There won't be any fixed production overhead volume variance, and sales volume margin variance will change. I will compute sales volume margin variance here. Okay, I will take this side for a while. Sales volume variance, how to compute? Actual quantity minus budgeted quantity into standard contribution. Remember, standard contribution. Actual quantity 10,500, budgeted quantity 11,000. What is the standard contribution? Go to your standard cost card. Your standard profit 178, that is after deduction of fixed cost. Fixed cost එකත් අඩු වුණාට පස්සේ තමයි 170ට profit එක තියෙන්නේ. Therefore, you have to add fixed overhead. Then your standard contribution will be how much? 253. 253 is the standard contribution. 253. Then sales volume margin variance, contribution margin variance, 500 into 253, it become 120. We'll see it's correct. 75, 178 into plus 75. Yes, plus 75. 253. Actual sales quantity 10,500. Okay. Then you have to consider into 500, 126,500, 126,500 adverse. 126,500 adverse. If you prepare the variance reconciliation statement based on marginal costing approach, two changes will be there. What are those two changes? Number one, there won't be any marginal costing, there won't be any fixed production overhead volume variance, and your sales volume variance will be changed. Okay, if you incorporate new values in marginal costing approach, this will change, this will remove. Okay, I will write down in this side 126,500, automatically this will be added to this one. Okay. In marginal costing approach, all the variances will remain unchanged. Only two variants, there won't be any variance here. This variance become 126,500 and adverse. Then same profit you will get in the marginal costing, no fixed production overhead volume variance, and your sales volume contribution variance will be changed. Those are the two changes if we apply marginal costing approach. These variances will be there. This will be there, price and usage, direct labor rate, efficiency, idle time, variable overhead expenditure, efficiency, fixed overhead expense but not fixed production overhead, volume variance. Sales price won't be changed, but sales volume margin variance will be changed. 89,126. It has increased by 37,500. Since there is no fixed production overhead volume variance, cost variance fall by another 37,500. There is no, it has changed between volume variance and sales volume variance and fixed overhead volume variance. That is the change in marginal costing approach. Other than that, there is no change to the actual profit, and the net impact to the total profit will not be changed. Only presentation will be changed. Two changes in marginal costing approach I need to highlight. There won't be fixed overhead, production overhead volume variance. Sales volume margin variance will be changed. Those are the two changes in marginal costing approach which compared to absorption costing. Okay, that's the end of mock examination paper. We have computed all the variance. There are some changes to be done with the suggested solution. We have done some slight changes to the computation while taking some assumption in question number 5 in working capital management, because some discrepancies are there. We have done based on our assumption. I think this will helpful for you to get an understanding to work out this mock examination. Please practice more and more questions and prepare for the upcoming examination, and wish you all the best and thank you.